Okay, thanks for your patience.
Mhm.
Commissioner Helfrey, Commissioner Ward, Commissioner Cohn, Commissioner Broyles, Commissioner Beatty,
Here.
Commissioner Deppler, Commissioner Jackson,
Here.
Chair Lee,
Present.
Councilmember Brost,
Here.
Mayor Bowman.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, so on tonight's agenda, we have one item, fixed supply site development plan. So I will turn this over to Mr. Vunich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to all the members of the Site Plan Subcommittee, again, thank you for attending tonight. I know the 5:30 start time can be an imposition on some, so Mr. Newberry, Mr. Cross, and I appreciate it very much. Tonight, as the chair mentioned, we have a site development plan for the expansion of fixed supply services, a longstanding business in the Wildwood portion of the Chesterfield Valley. The property is located just to the south of the access into Howell Island Conservation Area and fronts on to North Etherton Road. The other major landmark of the site, besides the large mounds of mulch and other material, is the levee, which, as you know, has been upgraded to a 500-year plus standard. So it is quite a structure that defines what I would consider the west end of Mr. Fick's property. The business has prospered at that location, and as you know, recently the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council were asked to approve the rezoning of an additional 10 acres of property Mr. Fick purchased from two adjoining owners. The property is intended for the purposes of additional storage to accommodate the increase in business. As part of it, Mr. Fick is wanting to upgrade the access point onto North Etherton Road. It's important to note that North Etherton Road is a St. Louis County arterial roadway, so a lot of what occurs in terms of that design of the access point is driven by St. Louis County, not necessarily the city of Wildwood. However, it is a key component on the site development plan. So from that perspective, any comments the site plan subcommittee may have in that regard certainly can be addressed by the petitioner's engineer and Mr. Fick himself, the petitioner. In preparation of tonight's meeting, Mr. Newberry and I prepared a number of items for your consideration. First and foremost, we have the site-specific ordinance that authorized the expansion of the facility, which I believe is the third expansion, and Mr. Fick can correct me if I'm wrong when we promote him to panelist. And along with the site-specific ordinance, we provided you the packet of plan sheets that have been prepared by Stock and Associates. And Mr. Dixon, the engineer of record, is also on our call tonight and will be promoted to panelist here very shortly. That packet of plan sheets includes the cover sheet with general information, the stormwater pollution prevention plan, which is several sheets, a site development plan, then an enlarged section of the site development plan, and then a couple of other detail sheets, and then finally the landscape plan for the new island that will define the enlarged access point. And then finally, as you can see from the letter that also is included in the packet, Stock and Associates did receive comments from the city regarding this site development plan and responded to those comments. Attached to that response letter from Stock and Associates are all the service providers that the city requested that Fixed Supply Service contact to ensure that if comments, if any had comments, those comments were identified and then included on the appropriate plan sheet or sheets. So a good amount of information available for the site plan subcommittee to review and discuss if they choose. The department would note again that this is a 10-acre addition to the existing facility. That 10-acre addition creates roughly a 30-acre compost facility, with limited retail sales and processing. And again, as part of the expansion, additional area now will be dedicated to further storage as reflected on the site development plan. Mr. Newberry, if you would pull up that large site development plan. Thank you. And Mr. Newberry, could you kind of enlarge the site plan component? I don't think we need to worry about the notes per se. Thank you. So as referenced, the expansion area is the darker shaded portion of the overall site development plan. And Mr. Dewberry's doing a fine job of kind of describing it. And again, access will be through the existing facility. There is no new proposed access. The area is to be used for additional storage. And importantly, the levy district, the Corps of Engineers, and the city of Chesterfield have all reviewed it relative to the levy and the stormwater management plan and found it acceptable. Along with the Chesterfield Valley Master Stormwater Plan, MSD has also reviewed and has approved all components of the stormwater management plan. Mr. Newberry, could you go to the enlarged site section plan so we could take a look at the access point? And as Mr. Newberry manipulates the image, maybe that's as large as it's going to get. Currently, there is just a standard commercial curb cut or access point off of North Etherton Road into the site. And primarily the existing access is to the north of the proposed island or to the upper portion of the image. What Mr. Fick would like to do is to add additional access area, and that would primarily come on the south side of the proposed island. Within the island will be landscaping, a low type of landscaping to ensure no impediments to site distance, and then a monument sign, and then a flagpole at the very western portion of the new island. St. Louis County Department of Transportation and Public Works has reviewed this, and all that is outstanding relative to their approval is the site development plan action of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then the always proverbial fees payment. And so from the perspective of the city, the Department of Transportation and Public Works with St. Louis County finds it acceptable, both from the standpoint of functionality as well as safety with sight lines, sight distance triangles, and other items related to that all met. So from the perspectives of the Department of Planning and the Department of Public Works, which also participated in the city's review, the plan complies with the components of the site-specific ordinance, and all agencies needing to review have reviewed and have accepted it as submitted to the site plan subcommittee tonight. Mr. Chair, with that, the department will conclude its presentation. And while the department waits for any questions from the site plan subcommittee, we'll go ahead and promote Mr. Fick, the owner of the business, and Mr. Dixon, if we can.
Okay, let's go ahead and promote Mr. Fick.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Fick and Mr. Dixon are our panelists now. They can take it away from here if there are no questions for the Department of Planning.
Yeah, I'll turn it over to Mr. Fick. He wants to make a statement. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, sorry. I think he's still on mute. There you go.
Are we good now?
Yeah, that works. Good evening.
Well, thank you for your time again. And once again, reviewing, I know we've been before the board several times, but that's a good thing. Again, this entrance and expansion, the entrance is the main goal because we keep getting bottlenecked because of our escalation in business. The expansion in the back, again, will be for quite some time. Primarily, we're going to be doing composting activities back there. We'll also be storing soils and doing more of the bioretention mixes and things that are now prevalent in all the developments. If anybody has any questions, I'm here for anything.
Thank you. I'll open it up for questions or comment. Doesn't sound like we have very many questions or comments here, Joe, with raised hands. The only thing I was trying to figure out is on the enlarged plan where the actual curb cut is onto Atherton Road.
I believe it's just going to be an extension further to the south, just to accommodate more or less really what we're putting in is an exit lane for outbound traffic. So it's supposed to tie in and run, I forget how many feet to the south.
From Mr. Lee, from the south edge of the landscape island to the new curb line for that exit, it's about 18 feet in width.
Okay.
So obviously, well wide enough to accommodate
Wide
even
enough for
some
the
of
truck turning, yeah, movement.
Yeah, right now our entrance is about 30 feet. It's the entrance and the exit. It just gets bottlenecked with bringing in larger trucks when there's
Right.
lines of customers in the spring.
Yeah, oh, I see. It's on there. There's an actual traffic movement on C 3.2. Okay, yeah, and it's there's a blow up detail. I just didn't see the curb cut on the overall plan. Joe, you might add that to a list of comments when they bring in the construction drawings. Or is this considered the construction set?
do that, sir. It is the construction set, sir, but certainly if there's something that needs to be added to ensure the site plan subcommittee feels comfortable with everything, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that detail conveys everything.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is Jim. I'm not able to see. I've been searching on the site development plan, and I can't see the aerial of where the new entry is going to be, and I'm sure I'm just missing. If somebody can, Joe, if you can tell me what page it's on and where it is, that would be real helpful.
I think
Mr.
it's
Mayor,
on page 7 of 11. If I'm that would be that C 3.2.
Yeah.
Turn around at gate. It looks like it's 7 of 11.
Yeah, it's a little sketch.
Right. Does that help, Mr. Mayor?
And with all due respect to Mr. Cross, I would reference sheet C 3.0. It's the entirety of the site. And at the narrowest point of the site along North Atherton Road, you'll see this point because there's that dark shading that shows the exit as it tapers onto North Atherton Road. And if Mr. Newberry would bring up that sheet
Yeah,
C 3.0.
You have to zoom into
So
it.
that's
Pretty
5 of
small.
11.
The problem is the inbound curb cut doesn't show up very well on our image.
So Mr. Newberry's done a good job of defining it. Mr. Mayor, so in the center of that shaded area is the proposed landscape island. Mr. Newberry could go to that. There it is. And so to the north of that, that's the existing access point. It's approximately 31 feet in width at this time because it serves both purposes for ingress and egress. And then to the south of the landscape island, again, Mr. Newberry, that is the new pavement area in that darker color. And then from the perspective of the access, the office that you see from North Etherton Road is just to the northwest of it. And then the shop is behind that. And then all of the bin areas are in close proximity.
Okay, I see it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
It's here. It's just hard to read. So that would be my only item that I have, Joe. They highlight that existing curb to the north a little more.
All right. Mr. Dixon, the engineer of record, is on, so he's heard the request as well. He also has his hand raised, Mr. Chair.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let him in. It could be the PDF, but just the way that it printed.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah,
Are you
you're
able to
on.
hear me? Okay, good. Good. Thanks. Yeah. So I was just, you guys, I think have kind of talked through it. Yeah, it's, so just to clarify, it is just an expansion of the existing entrance to the south. And it might be a case that the PDF just is a little bit fuzzy. But we do actually label the existing northern edge of that entrance. So we're basically adding a 10-foot wide island and then expanding that that entrance another 18 feet to the south.
So I understand what this is. It's mostly the PDF. It's just the way that it copied.
So Joe, would you be looking for a motion from the committee on this?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if the subcommittee is willing, the department would respectfully request a motion to prepare the recommendation report for the Planning and Zoning Commission with a favorable action.
Do we have anyone else wishing to ask questions or speak? If not, I'll make a motion.
Seeing no hands, Mayor Bowen, I'll let you make the motion.
So I'll move that the site development plan as proposed be approved with the proviso that just when they come, it's not really a proviso, just a suggestion actually, that when this is presented to the full commission, that the demarcations of the entry be a little more obvious to the commission. So that would be my motion with that suggestion.
I need a second. Second by Councilman Brost. So all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Or abstentions? Seeing none, I think that will wrap it up. Joe, do you need anything else from us?
Mr. Chair, we've completed our task. Don't forget though, in about 40 minutes, we have another meeting.
Great.
So you can use the same login as you used for the site plan subcommittee meeting. And we thank you for your attendance.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Fick, for going through the process. Very helpful when it comes in ahead of, something going backwards. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all your time. Like I said, it's a lot. You guys have a lot on your plate, especially these days. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just technically,
Yes.
when we're doing the Zoom meetings, you need to be able to see those voting. And so I'm now in video. I've been traveling, so I'm in video, and I'll reaffirm my vote of yes to the motion. Thank you.
Scott Jackson reaffirms his vote of yes too in video.
There you go. I think we're good. I'll consider it a completed task. Thank
Do
you.
we need a motion to close this meeting since Joe's saying yes, so motion to adjourn.
All right. Second by Council or Commissioner Beatty. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Opposed? Abstentions? We are adjourned.
See you in a bit.
Thank
Thanks.
you.